He said, pray as you see me pray. Utter these words that you hear me say. Based on the Sunnah, worship Him, just follow Him.
Assalamu alaikum. New class coming to you every Monday and Wednesdays, taught by Ustadah Laila Nasheeba, the fiqh of prayer. Every Monday and Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Inshallah, we'll see you there. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
Inshallah, if everybody can hear me. Inna alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to our new series on how to perform the prayer. And in this series, I am teaching you how to pray from A to Z. And I am not using a book of methods. I am not teaching you from Sheikh Albani's book either. I am not using a book of scholars or scholarly views. I am teaching you how to pray the way the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us to pray, and everything is taken directly from the authentic hadiths. Because again, Islam is only based on two sources: the book of Allah, which is the Quran, and the authentic hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So when it comes to how to practice our religion, how to eat, how to sleep, how to dress, how to pray, how to call upon Allah, how to fast, how to even make Hajj, we refer to how the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us. And if there's something that is not clear, then we look to see how his companions understood the issue or the matter to be. That is the correct way of learning Islam. It's not by learning opinions of scholars, which is what the world has become today. Islam is based on opinions of people that we make scholars instead of based on the evidence and the truths of Allah and the truths of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the understanding of his companions. So that's what this class is all about. The last week when we first started this class, we went over the benefits, the virtues, and the importance of performing our prayers. Is praying the 5 daily prayers an obligation, or is it a choice? Who can answer that? Is performing the prayers an obligation, or is it a choice?
It's an obligation.
Say it again.
Oh, I said it's an obligation.
Exactly. It's an obligation. And what happens if we don't pray? Are we kafirs if we don't pray? What happens if a Muslim doesn't pray?
If a Muslim person doesn't pray, they're considered as a sinful Muslim. But if they deny that the prayer is an obligation, then that's when they're a kafir.
Exactly. We have to understand that the only time you can refer to another, and which you shouldn't refer to another Muslim as being a kafir, period. Leave that for the scholars to do. But the only time another Muslim can be considered a kafir about the prayer is if that Muslim denies that it's an obligation. If I tell you, like this one sister, I was listening to another woman, I don't know who she is, never heard of her before, some woman from out of England or something. She was a new Shahada. And I'm telling you, you new Shahadas got to get off that internet. You Muslim women who are new to this religion, you need to hang up your dawah boots. Oh yeah, you ain't qualified to give dawah. You got to go learn your religion. You got to get busy learning what it means to be a Muslim woman, learning how to change your character and your behavior from that of a kafir to a Muslim. But this woman is a new shahada from out of England, and she got a YouTube channel. She's got millions, literally millions of followers. She's making big money. And she sits there and talks about her conversion. And what she does is she takes verses of the Quran and she reads them. And then she gives her view or her opinion on what they mean. This is dangerous. I don't know why all those Dawah brothers in the UK have not stopped her, because she's deadly. She's taking the verses of Allah and misconstruing them. In fact, she got to the verse about the prayers, and she had the nerve to say that prayer is not an obligation, it's a choice. That because we believe in Allah, we choose to worship him. She said, whereas people that don't convert to Islam, they don't make that choice. I'm like, is she crazy? Do you know that most of the Muslims are being held because they didn't do their prayers? Because they chose not to pray. And prayer is an obligation. It's not a choice. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. The Prophet said this would happen. We have all these Muslims talking about Islam, leading people straight to the hellfire. Okay, so prayer is an obligation. Anyone who denies that it is a kafir. Although that doesn't mean that you go around calling people that. For those sinful Muslims who don't pray and they know that it's a sin, they acknowledge it as such, these are sinful Muslims. And as we talked about in another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the people of paradise will look down into the hellfire and they will ask the Muslims there, why are you there? Why are you in hell? And they will say, because we were of those who did not fulfill our obligations. We did not pray. We did not fast. We did not give in charity. That hadith is Sahih Muslim. It's authentic. Okay. So, to not pray is sinful. To deny the prayer is what takes you out of Islam. So we've established all of that. We talked about when did Allah reveal how many times to pray to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What happened when Allah sent down the revelation? What was going on in history for Allah to send down the revelation about the prayers and how we pray them? Who can remember? When did the Prophet Muhammad receive that information? Go ahead.
The 5 daily prayers was made an obligation when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went on his journey, on the night journey, that's when the 5 prayers were made obligation.
MashaAllah, during his night journey, that's when Allah prescribed that. And I did receive a question from one of the brothers here. He wanted to know, did the Muslims pray before then? Yes, but they only prayed twice a day. We have an authentic hadith that says that the Muslims before then, they would pray the Fajr and they would pray Isha at night. They would pray twice a day before then. But when the Prophet went on his night journey, that's when Allah prescribed 5 times a day. He added Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib to the Fajr and the Isha. But before then, the Muslims would pray Fajr and Isha. Okay? And how did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam learn how to pray? Who can answer that? How did he get these movements that we do, this workout that we do?
The angel Jibril, he came to him at certain parts of the day, the noon and night, and said, stand and pray. So
Good
he learned
job.
it from the angel Jibril.
Good job. This is what I like for you guys to be paying attention in class and answering questions, sisters. It's not that I'm mean. Y'all heard Jamali. Jamali thinks the reason why y'all don't answer is because I am mean. Jamali doesn't understand my culture. Even though Jamali's Egyptian, maybe he been in America too long. Everybody knows Egyptian women are very feisty. And not only do I have that Egyptian feistiness, but I'm also got some African American. And African American women don't bite their tongue either. So it ain't that. And my students are all from Africa and America. They're Africans and Americans. Ain't nobody here scared to talk. It's just that they got issues. I have to shake them up, make them turn off the TV. It's all about the TV. It's all about cooking. They can schedule their dinner. This class, my class has been the same time since 1986. They know that they're supposed to schedule their day around Allah and not Allah around their day. But since I went off on them, you see they answering now. See that, Jamali? I know these people. Nobody's scared of me. I ain't nobody to fear. They know that I'm a big crybaby. I spend most of my time in here crying with these women, having them pick me up, bring me coffee, and send me clothes in the mail. They paying attention now. You got to shake people up sometimes. Yeah. But subhanAllah, this is how we do it here. Good job. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam learned. He learned how to pray from the angel Jibril. And can anybody remember, is there any other creation that stands and rolls and prays and bows and prostrates like we do? Where did the angel Jibril get it from? Go ahead. Go ahead, baby.
The angels?
Exactly. We pray the way the angels pray. The way we stand and glorify and bow and prostrate. When Jibril taught the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam the positions, he let him know this is how the angels do too. This is how we worship Allah as well. So we went over all of that. And how old should your children be? Who can remember that? How old should your children be when you make them start praying? Do you wait till their puberty?
No, when they're 10 years old.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. When they're 10 years old, the Prophet ﷺ said that we should teach our kids at the age of 7, and we should make them pray at the age of 10.
Exactly. When they're 7 years old is when you should start teaching them. And what does that mean to teach them? Can anybody explain what that means? Because that's another email I got from Brother Edward. What does it mean to teach the children at 7? Who can explain that? Good job, Brother Ahmed. What does it mean to teach them at 7?
Teaching them how to perform the prayer and also the importance of it.
That's some of it. Did she leave something else out, guys?
You're showing them, basically.
Yeah.
You're showing them. You're having them sit right next to you. And like she said, teaching them how to pray so they'll pray with you.
Is it a little bit more to that? Am I just showing them how to pray? Am I just teaching them how to pray? What else I'm doing?
They need to understand the importance. They need to start understanding the importance of the prayer, why we should pray.
All of that is correct, but y'all missing the main thing. What else do you do? Do I just sit there and have them listen to a lecture from Laila Nasheeba on how to pray and the importance and how to say the Fatiha? What else? What else does teach mean? And this
show them, like, have them standing next to you. You show them the.
So in other words, make them pray. That's what you American Western Muslims don't get. They should be praying with you. They should be physically performing the prayer. Not just watching you. No, you don't make them watch, Miss Jackson. They have to line up and pray with you. You go wake them up out the bed and say, hello, get up, Abdullah. If Abdullah is 7 years old, you have to wake him up and tell him, go make wudu. And you go in the bathroom with him and you show him how to make wudu. And then you tell him, okay, cover your aura. You cover him up and you tell him, now you go stand behind your father and follow it. You're going to be praying with us. This is why we have a high apostasy rate. Y'all don't understand the meaning of those hadiths. When the prophet said, teach them to pray at the age of 7, he didn't say, that doesn't mean the Arabs didn't have the little boys. Ali became Muslim. Don't y'all know Ali was 8 years old when he took Shahada? Do y'all think that Ali was just sitting there watching the prophet? Do y'all know that Abu Hurairah was a young boy? Do y'all know that Anas, these were young boys? Do y'all think the prophet just had the young boys at 7 and 8 just watching them? No. He said, make them pray. That Arabic word, if I were to change the meaning of that, the wording of that hadith, because Arabic words mean different things, let me give y'all the English. The prophet, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, said, teach and make your children pray. At 7, beat them. That's the word. We don't want to use the B word. Oh no, Layla gonna use it. Beat them and make them pray. At 10, that's the proper English transliteration of meaning. That's why you got to learn that fusha. That hadith says, teach and make your children pray. Teach and make your children fast at the age of 7. Beat them and make them pray. Beat them and make them fast at the age of 10. In other words, if they're 10 years old and they sneaking and not fasting, they're sneaking and not praying, you whoop their behinds and tell them, get your butt in that line and pray. Y'all understand now? We got these compassionate imams. These compassionate imams who speak Arabic, but they're afraid to use certain terminology in America because, they're trying to be on the task force. Well, they already on there. They were on there with Obama. They want to be on the president's task force. So they don't give y'all the correct meaning. Well, I'm giving y'all the correct one because I fear no one but Allah. Do y'all understand what it means now? The prophet said, whoop their butt. Y'all know what whoop your butt means? However you whoop his behind. He told them, y'all whoop their behinds and make them pray. And that's what it means. Ain't no tap. We ain't got a sugarcoat. Let me talk to y'all about this. Hello, talk about it. We got to stop sugarcoating this religion. You Muslims in America understand that. Y'all got to stop allowing these Kafirs and Zionists to make y'all sugarcoat this deen. You know what a whooping is. Didn't your mama whoop your butt? When you disobeyed your mother, what did she do? Did she tap you? Or did she whoop your behind? When you disobeyed your mother, did she say, come here, sweetheart, I'm going to time you out for 5 seconds? Or did she say, go out there and get me a switch? Go get me a switch off that tree and beat your behind with it. Come on, we don't sugarcoat this deen. That's what it means. If you guys would do what you're supposed to do with these children, they wouldn't grow up disrespecting you. They wouldn't grow up cussing you out. They wouldn't grow up selling drugs in your house. They wouldn't grow up apostating, making babies in your bed while you at work. We got to stop sugarcoating this deen to appease the kafir. You understand? Kafirs ain't never succeeded with their kids. And now your kids are just like theirs. So we ain't sugarcoating. So what does that hadith mean? It means make your kids start praying when they 7. Make your daughters, teach your daughters, and make them wear hijab and cover their behinds when they 7. And when they 10 years old, if you see your daughter sneaking out the house without a hijab on, you whip her behind. That's what it means. You see your son sneaking out the house when he's 10 years old without and having a girlfriend, you whoop his behind. You see your son out there playing football and he's 10 and he don't want to come in and pray. You get a switch and whoop his behind and say, get your butt in that house and pray, boy. That's what that hadith means. Any questions? We ain't sugarcoating. And I'm not changing the meaning. Any scholar of this religion will tell you that's what it means. We got to stop all this sugarcoating this deen to appease, the Zionists. They ain't trying to appease you. They got your children exposed to LGBTQ. We got rights too. They got the right to be LGBTQ. I got the right to enforce morals to my children. Everybody understand that? We don't abuse our kids, but you discipline them when they need to be disciplined. We don't allow our children to discipline us. So that's when you start making your children pray. You start making them pray at the age of 7 and discipline them. Discipline them if they're not praying by the time they're 10. That's the wording that I would use with that hadith. Y'all understand that? Make them pray at 7. Discipline them to make them pray at 10. And that's hijab and fasting, all of that. Okay? So those are the things that we went over as the introduction to this course, the importance of the prayer, the virtues of it, what determines if a person is a non-believer in regards to the prayer, when we should start praying, and all of that. And we also talked about the times of the prayer. And let me ask this question. I asked it last week and none of you could remember. Let's see if y'all can remember today. Why did Allah space the prayers at the different times throughout the day as he's done? Can anyone answer that?
So we can remember him through the day.
Exactly. Good job. He spaced them out, so he wants us to stop doing what we're doing to take the time to remember him, because Allah doesn't want us to become so engrossed in this dunya, meaning so engrossed in the life of this world that we forget about him. Good job, Amira. Good job. Good job, Shamsa. Good job, Miss Jackson. Good job. So that's why the prayers are at the fixed times. And what do we mean when we say fixed time? What does that mean? That's English. When Allah says that every prayer has its fixed time, what does that mean? What does that mean?
That means that every prayer has its own time that we have to pray, and each prayer ends as the next prayer starts.
Good job, Norto. This is how my students answer. You hear them now, Dr. Jamali? They answering. They not afraid of me. I just had to shake them up because they weren't listening to me. They come in this Zoom room, log in, and walk away. And they got to stop doing that, because they miss out on what I'm teaching Okay. Good job, Amir. Good job, Norto. Amir said there's a specific time of amount of time that each prayer starts and ends. Good job, Amira. Good job. So those are the things we discussed. And so now we're going to move on to what do we do when the time for prayer has come in? And by the way, I apologize. I know I'm chewing gum. I never like to lecture and chew gum, but I have a nasty taste in my mouth. I ate a burrito. I don't like that type of stuff. I'm not into Mexican food, but like a dummy, I ate a burrito and it's just nasty on me. And my palate just tastes like, ugh. So I got to chew some spearmint gum or peppermint gum to get rid of that nasty taste of. I don't know how y'all eat burrito, that type of stuff. Mexican food, I can't do it. Ugh. But anyway, we're going to speak about the Adhan today. And before I go into the Adhan, I'm going to give you also a visual quiz on the time of the day. I want you guys to look at the time, the sun and the color of the sky in these pictures I'm getting ready to show you, and tell me what time of day this is. Oh, let me use the right computer. Yeah, I'm using the wrong mouse. Yeah, that Mexican food. How do y'all eat Mexican food? Man, that stuff is spicy and it leaves an aftertaste in your mouth. Ooh,
It's delicious.
It's the whatever seasoning they use. It doesn't appeal to my palate. I feel like I want to throw it up, so that's why I'm chewing this gum. Oh, it's helping, but oh. Okay. Oh, let me give myself host rights. I can't put my hold on. I can't raise it. Where is my name at? Oh, it's way down here. Oh, that's why I couldn't open it up. Okay, hold on, guys. Let me come back. All right. Let me share my screen. Oh, move this mouse. Working 3 computers. Give me a second. Well, okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, so, okay, I can see it on here now. All right, so we're going to be covering the Adhan. But before we get to that, I want y'all to take a look at this picture. And I want you guys to tell me what time of day is this, and pay attention to the colors and where the colors are placed. Where it is the orange, where is the red, where is the yellow? And this is a pond of water. Beautiful picture. What time of day is this? Can anyone? Yeah. What time of day do y'all think this is?
I would say, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So I would say this is a sunrise prayer. I mean, sunrise.
Okay. That's Brother Haji from Nigeria. Are you in Nigeria now, or are you here?
I'm
in the UK.
based in Manchester now.
You're in Manchester, UK? Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am.
How's everything going? Good?
Alhamdulillah, fine, thank you, ma'am.
Have you been back to Nigeria anytime recently?
Inshallah, before the end of this year. Recently, no.
Okay. But how's your family? Your family's okay over there?
Everyone's doing okay.
Good. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Okay, that's Brother Haji, one of my students who's grown up here. Yeah, so subhanAllah, he says that this is sunrise. Sunrise.
I say it's Asr.
Okay, she said Asr. A couple other people saying Asr too. Amira said Fajr.
Yeah, I would say Fajr too.
Okay, I'm going to tell y'all who's correct.
I think it's Maghrib time.
Okay, you think it's Maghrib. We got all kind of answers here. The person who is correct is my brother from Nigeria. They can look at the sky in Nigeria. They know how to tell. This is sunrise, guys. This is sunrise. How did I tell y'all to recognize if it's sunrise?
You said the orange is at the bottom if it's sunrise, and if it's on the top, it's going to be Maghrib.
There you go. Where's the orange? There's no orange on there. What color is that? Is that more orange, or is that more orange red, or is that more yellow?
More yellow.
That's yellow. Remember I told y'all, look at the colors. My grib is red. The dark orange almost red. The yellow would be at the top, and what would be at the bottom for my grib? The orange would be at the bottom. There's no orange at the bottom there. This is yellow. This is sunrise, and look at the sun. The sun around it is white. That's another giveaway. That's how Haji could tell. He's from Nigeria. They know how to look at the sun. Shamsa, did you get it right? Shamsa's from Somalia. They know how to look at the sun too. Yeah, this is a sunrise. This is sunrise, not sunset. Remember, guys, sunset would be red at the bottom, not orange. Okay, good job, Haji. Shamsa, you got it right too, right? Yeah, see, Shamsa, she's from Somalia, and they look at the sun, and Brother Haji's from Nigeria. They do that. They know how to do this, like I do. Okay, look at this picture. Now you see the difference. What time is this?
That's my grib.
Now y'all see the difference. This is my grib. Do you see that, Geechee? The difference between orange and yellow. Y'all see the difference? Yeah. Sunrise. There's no orange, it's more yellow. Plus where the sun is white. My grib, all that red and orange. All that red and orange. Good job, Shamsa. All that red, and look how the sun is. The sun ain't no white around it. Even around the sun, there's orange. As opposed to here, when it was rising, the sun is white around it. Big difference. Sunrise, sunset. To me, these are the easiest ones to recognize. But for some reasons, you guys have a hard time with that. They're easy for me. Maybe that's the better one in me. Sunrise, sunset.
Well, would that be considered Fajr though? Because I thought you said we don't pray during that time.
Y'all don't know what Fajr is?
It is sunset is
What
Fajr.
time of day is this?
Isha.
Is this Isha?
Oh no, this is wait, this is Fajr. I'm sorry.
This is Fajr. Y'all don't y'all know at Fajr it's dark outside. Fajr, there is no sun. All you see is a white light. This is Fajr. Remember I told y'all that exactly, Miss Jackson. You got it right. Fajr has no color in the sky at all because Fajr is at dawn. We do not pray. If you guys are waking up and y'all making y'all prayer at this time right here, this is not Fajr. This is the forbidden time to pray. We cannot perform prayers at this time. This is when the shaitan stands in front of the sun. Fajr does not mean sunrise. Fajr means dawn. Dawn. We do not pray at dawn. This is the forbidden time to pray. This is my grib. This is Fajr. Fajr has no color in the sky at all. All you will see is a white, a line along the landscape like that. You will look up at the sky when that hadith, when the prophet says fast until you see the white thread of light. This is the white thread. Remember, the companions were going around trying to hold up thread. The prophet said, I don't mean thread. I mean the white thread, a little line, a line of light. That's Fajr. This is when the Adhan is called. Everybody understand that? So you look at the colors. That's why I was telling y'all the last time we met. You can determine the time of prayers not by the sun, more so it's the colors, because oftentimes the sun is going to be hidden. The sun is going to be hidden by clouds or pollution. What about this? What time is this? This should
That's Isha.
Exactly. This is Isha. Isha is an Arabic word that means night. There's no color at all. You can see the moon or you'll see the stars. This light right here, this is not the light on the horizon. Remember, for Fajr, there will be a light along the horizon. Y'all know what the horizon is? The horizon is this, the land. You look at where the trees, the land is. Y'all see where I'm drawing with my mouse? Can y'all see my mouse going up and down? This is the landscape. You'll see white coming up. That's Fajr. Isha is darkness and you can see the moon. This is the light from the moon. The reason why you got this little line of white light is not because of the sun. That's the moon and the stars. This is Isha. And what time does Isha end? Can anybody tell me? How long do you have to make Isha?
Until the Adhan of Fajr.
Exactly. You have until Fajr. Isha does not end at 12 o'clock. Isha ends at Fajr. I don't know where these numbskull men get that from. Probably some 4 imam. Okay, they need to follow the companions. Isha ends at Fajr. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said every prayer ends at the beginning of the next except for Fajr. Fajr ends at sunrise. There's your dalil, Sahih Muslim. Okay? So you have until Fajr to pray Isha. Long as you look out there and see the sky like this, you good to go. But if you see the sky looking like that, you're done with Isha. This is Fajr. Because you see that light on the horizon. The light on the land. That's the sun coming up. What about this? What time? What prayer is this? Look at the color. Look at the light. What is this? This is easy, guys.
Fajr.
Exactly. This is Fajr. Y'all see Fajr? Fajr is the light where the land is. That's why I used 2 pictures, because I saw this one and I said this shows y'all how the light looks over the land. Plus you can see that moon up in the sky. Y'all see the moon too? That's a giveaway too. Y'all see that round moon. And you see the North Star. Y'all see the North Star? That's the North Star right there. I like this one. Okay. But this is Fajr. Fajr is the white, the thread of white, as the Prophet called the thread of white. This is Isha. This is Fajr, the thread of white. This is Maghrib, reddish orange. Remember the color red, dark orange. That's Maghrib. Asr is yellowish orange. Fajr is yellowish orange at the bottom. Asr would be yellow at the top. If this was Asr, what would be at the bottom? What would be at the bottom if this was Asr?
Yellow at the bottom.
No. What would be at the bottom if this was Asr?
Like a reddish color?
That would be reddish orange, yes. The top would be all yellow if this was Asr. You would see nothing but yellow. You wouldn't see no white. Okay? So, each day I'm gonna put up different pictures and you'll get better. Just like today, Miss Jackson, look how good you did. Y'all did good. You got them all right today, Miss Jackson. It's really easy. You'll get in the habit of doing it. So now let's begin our lecture. The Adhan. A lot of the new shahadas ask me, Sister Laila, what is the Adhan? The Adhan and the Iqamat are two different things. The Adhan is a call to inform the people that the time for prayer has begun. The Iqamat is different. When you hear the Iqamat, that's a call saying we getting ready to pray right now. You better line up. It means get your butt up here in line. Tell them kids, y'all better get in here. It's time that we get ready to pray now. That's the difference. It means stand up. Come on and join the line. That's the Iqamat. The Adhan is letting the people know that a specific prayer has come in. And we use specific words for that. Okay? And the words that we use for the Adhan is again reaffirming our testimony of faith. We're reaffirming La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. We're also reaffirming El Wala Wal Bara. That's why I keep telling y'all, allegiance and disassociation is part of the Shahada. And every time that Adhan is being called, not only are they reaffirming that it's time to pray and we believe in Allah, but there's also reaffirming that our allegiance is to Allah, to the Prophet, to the religion of Islam, and to each other, and that we will disassociate. We're going to spend this time disassociating from whatever stands between us and Allah. Y'all see the wisdom of Allah? The prayers, the Adhan is pronounced 5 times a day. And every time it's pronounced, we are reaffirming what we believe and where our allegiance is. It's a reminder. I got to disassociate from those activities that contradict Islam. I got to disassociate from those people who contradict my morals. Okay, so that's what the Adhan is. It calls to specific actions of obedience after testifying to Allah, to believe in Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and where our allegiance is supposed to be. Okay? And we're going to go into details about it. But first of all, before I go over how it's done, let's talk about the virtues of the Adhan. And we have a lot of hadiths that speak about the virtues of the Adhan. For example, Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, and he was one of the young boys. The young boys would stand behind the men during the prayer. When it was time to pray, the women did not stand next to the men, nor were they close to them. The Prophet would align the men in front, and Abu Huraira, Anas, Ali, and all the young boys and the teenagers would stand behind the men. And then the women would stand back from the behind the boys. So what y'all see these masajids doing in America is innovation. They're trying to appease the president of the U.S. because he's promised them, well, he's given them positions on different task force for human rights, such as LGBTQ, which you see them supporting, and feminism. All right? So Abu Huraira tells us that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if the people truly knew what was in the Adhan, the rewards of calling it, and if the people truly knew the reward of standing in the front line, this is for the men, not women, because we women get more blessings praying in the back. So this hadith is for the brothers. He's saying if the brothers knew the reward from the hearing the Adhan and standing in the front row of the prayer, they would draw lots for it. They would crawl to it. And if they knew the blessings for praying the Dhuhr prayer at the early time, meaning when it first comes in, they would race to the masjid to pray the Dhuhr prayer when it first comes in. And if they knew the reward for praying the Isha prayer and the Fajr prayer in congregation at the mosque behind the imam, they would crawl to them. So this is a hadith that you brothers need to think about. The masjids, these are the houses of Allah. You brothers are supposed to perform all your prayers in the mosque. If you knew the rewards of doing so, you would crawl to the masjid. You'd find a way to get up and get to the mosque to perform your prayers. Something that you brothers need to think about. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said for the men who are assigned to call the Adhan, they will have long necks on the day of judgment. Why will Allah give them long necks? To make them stand out over everyone else. To show that these were men of dignity. And by the way, women do not call the Adhan. I have to make that point. Because these same imams who are telling you women to pray in the masala behind the men, they also allowing women to call Adhans too. Oh yeah. They're also allowing women to lead the prayers. Oh yeah. We have a lot of these imamas. Oh yeah, some of these famous women that y'all listen to on YouTube. They're imamas. Did y'all know that? Oh yeah, those sisters are imamas. Oh yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Why y'all think Allah's sending all this calamity here? Earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes. Oh, we got a lot of imamas, women imams. They call them board member counselors when they're not really board member counselors. When y'all got a problem, go to the mosque, what do the imam do? He tell you go talk to Sheikh or so-and-so. She's an imama. She has all this power. Oh yeah, we're twisted here in America. Oh yeah. Don't worry. The bombs are going to be coming here soon too. Oh yeah. Be ready. Are you going to go out a believer or are you going to go out a hypocrite? That's the question. So on the day of judgment, the men who call the Adhan, and this is not women. Women don't call the Adhan. There is no Adhan for women. Men will have long necks to distinguish them on the day of judgment. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah and his angels, they pray for those who are standing in the first rows. And the caller to the prayer is forgiven for his sins. In fact, he's forgiven for as far as his voice will reach. And whoever hears him will confirm what he says. And he will receive a reward similar to those who pray with him. In other words, whoever is the Adhan caller for the masjid, he's getting the reward for that Allah has given everybody else who's praying in that congregation. That's one of the virtues of being an Adhan caller. This is something that you sisters might want to do. You know, donate your sons for the sake of Allah. If you live near masjid, you know, ask the imam, do you need somebody to come in and call the Adhan for Isha or Maghrib? When my son gets home from school, you know, I'll let him come to the mosque at Maghrib and hang out till Isha. And he can call the Adhan for you for Maghrib and Isha. That's something that you sisters can do. You know, that way is teaching your sons to be Muslim men, and also to look at the rewards you sisters will get for offering your child in the way of Allah, like the companions, the female companions did, like Muad's mother did, like Anas's mother did. Okay? Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if the people do not make the Adhan on time, and if they do not establish the prayer amongst themselves, then Shaitan will gain control over them. Why is it that our nation is so messed up around the world? Here in America, Europe, the Middle East. Do y'all know that some of these mosques ain't calling the Adhan on time? Some of these mosques ain't even got a person to call the Adhan there. Y'all know that? How many of us, there are 3 Muslims, there are 3 people living in the same city, but there's no masjid. If you have 3 Muslims, if you have 2 Muslims, this is Sahih Muslim. If there are 2 Muslims living in the same town, then it becomes an obligation to establish congregational prayer whenever there are 2 or more Muslims. How many Muslims live in towns where there is no mosque? There is no place to congregate. If you live in a country town, you better turn that barn. If another Muslim moves in town, you turn your barn into a place of worship. Put the cows and horses in the back, and in the front, clean it off the floor, and let the people come over and pray, or keep some hay on the floor for them to stand on. You can pray in your shoes. The Prophet prayed in his shoes. Muslims don't know that. I pray in my shoes too. You know? Tell the brothers, come to my barn. I will establish, the Adhan every 5 times a day. And everybody can come to my barn and we can pray together in congregation. We're not doing that anymore. And that's why we're so divided as a nation. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah is amazed and pleased by the one who is watching sheep. In other words, who's a shepherd. And then he goes to the mountain and makes the call to the prayer. And he prays. Allah will say, look at my servant. Look at him there who makes the call to prayer and establishes the prayer out of fear of me. Well, guess what? I have forgiven him and I will allow him to enter paradise. SubhanAllah, you want to get to paradise, brothers? How many of you work and don't make your prayers at all? How many of you brothers go to work and don't pray? When you stop and go make salat, SubhanAllah, look at the blessings you get. Because that's what it's all about. Setting aside time to remember Allah through the day. Okay? And also, guys, the Adhan was the first part of the Allah's laws. That was one of the first laws of Allah established after the Prophet migrated to Medina. What happened was, as you all know, the Muslims were not allowed to practice their religion in Mecca. So it became haram to live in Mecca, because Allah says we can live anywhere on this earth as long as we're able to practice our religion openly. But since the Quraysh wouldn't allow the Prophet and them to practice Islam, it became haram to live in Mecca. So they had to migrate. They went to Medina. And the first thing they did when they got to Medina was came up with the idea how to call each other to prayer. Because again, whenever there are 2 or more Muslims in the same city, we have to establish prayer. So Ibn Umar, he was another one of the young boys. The young boys would stand behind the men. The Prophet Muhammad didn't need to build a wall to separate the women from the men. He didn't need to put a partition. The prophet was more intelligent than that. He said there's no partition better than the human body. The boys, the young boys were the partition in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? So Ibn Umar said the Muslims would come together and try to figure out the time of prayer. But we didn't have anybody, to call. What does he mean, figure it out? By looking up at the sky. By looking up at the sky like I'm teaching you guys. The Prophet Muhammad had to teach the Arabs how to look up at the sky and tell what time to pray, the same way I'm teaching you guys. So they would come together and look at the sky and say, is this Asr? Isn't it yellow there? The same way you guys are doing. And they would figure it out if they would agree that it's time for Asr, and then the prophet would come and confirm it, then they would go and pray, but they didn't have no way to call each other. So one brother suggested we do like the Christians. He said, let's use a bell. We'll ring this bell to let the people know that the time has come. And then another man suggested blowing a horn like the Jews did. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't like that. He said, no, we want to be different. We don't want to be like the Jews and Christians. So 3 of the companions, including Umar, went home and they had a dream. All 3 of them had a dream that a man was calling the Adhan with his voice. And the next day they told the prophet about it. And the prophet said, that's what we will do. We will use the human voice. So not only was the human body the partition that separated the women from the men, but the human voice was our call to the prayer. And y'all know who the first caller was? That was Bilal. May Allah be pleased with him. And that brings us to the next question. There are a lot of you young brothers, Brother Ahmed, and all of you are asking. There are 3 ways. I repeat, 3 ways. I repeat, there are 3 ways that you can call the Adhan. The first way is you can make 4 takbir at the beginning and say the rest of the sentences twice without repetition, except the last statement of La ilaha illallah. So the Adhan would be made up of 15 phrases, as the hadith that I put in the previous slide. That's the first way. And by the way, I hope y'all screenshotting all this. The second way is to make 4 takbir and then repeat Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah twice, Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah twice in a low voice, and then repeat them again in a louder voice. How many of you have heard people do that? How many of you went to the mosque and heard some of the brothers say the 2 in a low voice and then repeat them again in a loud voice? And that's based on this hadith here where Abu Makhzura, he tells us that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught him an adhan consisting of 19 phrases. And this hadith is authentic. Okay, all of these hadiths are authentic. I got the sources all there. Okay? Then the last way that you can call the Adhan is to make 2 takbir and then repeat the statements of witness, which is the Ashhadu an la, and then make the number of phrases 17. And this is the one that most people do because it's from Sahih Muslim. Abu Makhzura related that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught him this way. And here it is written out for my new shahadas. I'm going to leave this page here for a second. I want y'all to use your cell phone to take a screenshot, or use your computer or your iPad to take a screenshot for my new shahadas. That is the adhan that the Prophet taught them. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Ashadu Allah, ilaha illallah, Ashadu Allah, ilaha illallah. You see it? Ashadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. Ashadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. Then repeat. Y'all see this? It's all written out. Take a screenshot, new shahadas. And by the way, for the women, as we talked about before, there is no adhan nor iqamet for women. What does that mean? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and we're going to get to that hadith next week. The Prophet said when a woman is praying by herself, she doesn't have to call the adhan, nor does she have to call the iqamet, because it requires raising your voice and beautifying your voice. And some men, it can bring attention to you. By us being loud with it, your neighbors would know that you at home. That would let them know that your husband ain't there. If he was there, what you doing calling the adhan? And he might want to break in your house and rape you. Y'all see that? Allah makes his rules for our protection. So a woman doesn't have to call the adhan, nor does she have to call the iqamet. If you are going to do it in a low voice, so as nobody knows that you at home by yourself and you protected. We living in some trying times. Oh yeah, it's dangerous. You might get popped. All right. And the only difference is the Fajr prayer. And for the Fajr prayer, we add the phrase, prayer is better than sleep. Okay, now I want you brothers to screenshot this. Did I put the whole thing? Okay, yeah, I did. I wrote the whole thing. Take a screenshot, new shahadas. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught Abu Makhzura to add this phrase only in the morning, adhan, which means prayer is better than sleep. Yeah, there's a reason. I'm very smart, ain't I? Sister Wildfire says, Sister Laila, you smart? Yep. Well, why ain't I saying it? Because I got brothers here listening to me. And a lot of men get turned on by women singing the Quran. Laila ain't gonna sing for ya. I only sing for my man. Hello? And I ain't got no man yet. But when I get a man, I'll be singing to him all day and night. My cousin went fast. She said, you are smart, girl. Yeah. I'm not like them other women. Gonna get up on the here with a bunch of men singing in Arabic and all that sweet voice crap. Take a screenshot, bros. Okay, y'all got the screenshot? Okay. Yeah, I'm smart. I'm an old woman. I learned. Okay, so that's what I wanted to cover for today. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Did I put it down? Hold on. Just that part of the adhan. Everybody should have the screenshots. You new shahadas, learn the adhan. If you brothers, sisters too, y'all learn the adhan. The word there, I made sure that the words are in fanatical English and it's correct. Okay? And I want you guys to continue to practice looking outside at the sky to see what time of day it is. Because when we meet for this class again when do we meet for this class? Next week on Monday, I'm going to give you another quiz to cover what we discussed today about the adhan. And also, I'm going to have more pictures up there of different times.